Hi. Are you tired of always having to go get the SD card so you can load a new model on it for your printing? Are you tired of just not being able to really monitor your printer? Well, today I'm going to give you a solution to that as we dive in to Octoprint. See you inside. Hello and welcome to today's video. So today, as I said in the intro, we are diving into initially setting up Octoprint on your 3D printer. Specifically, I'm going to be setting it up for my Ender 3 V2. I'm going to be using a Raspberry Pi 4 4GB version with a 32GB microSD. Now, I'm going to take you through the process. We're going to go out to the websites. We're going to get the software we need. We're going to set up the Octoprint file so it'll connect to my wireless. We're going to go plug it back in there because what are the benefits of Octoprint? Well, like I said in the intro, I get tired of going back and forth to get the SD card to fix models, put different model designs on the card for the printer to read. I don't have to do that with Octoprint. I can remote in from my computer, connect to the Octoprint webpage, and download my file to the Octoprint from my PC. I don't have to get up all the time. But there's other advantages. You can connect a webcam to Octoprint. So you can actually sit at your computer or laptop, or there's actually apps out there that you can connect and watch your Octoprint from your phone or any mobile device in your house. So it does give you an advantage of monitoring. It's going to show you heat. It's going to show you the temperature that your bed and your nozzle are running at. It's going to show you a lot of information that you don't really ever get to see just looking at the printer. And some of the benefits that you can do with this is it's also going to let you do time lapsing. So you can actually take a time lapse built in, or you can get additional plugins that help like Octolapse that let you take time lapses of your print so you can actually see your print being built in a shorter time over the time of the process that it takes for it to build. But it also gives you a lot of advantage of that monitoring, control, file storage, and videoing. So it's a great little benefit of a tool. It makes things a little bit easier. In my opinion, I have it on almost all my printers except for this Ender 3 V2, which we're going to do today. So off to the computer so we can get the first things we need to start Octoprint. Okay. Hello. Okay, so we're back at the computer. We're going to start getting down everything we need for Octoprint. So what does that mean? We need to get the Octoprint ISO, which you're going to go to, I'm going to get rid of that, octoprint.org.download, and download the ISO file. So you'll find that. You'll just go down in here, download Octoprint Octopi 0.17.0. Download that, but also download using Etcher. And download this application, I'm already on the page, so that we can take the ISO and format the microSD card for the Raspberry Pi as effectively as possible. Now, one other thing you'll need for this. Get Notepad++ or another editing software. Don't use Notepad to edit the files that we're going to edit. It can cause a problem, and we don't want that problem, so I recommend getting something like Note++ or something along that line. Note++ is free, great program, use it all the time. So it's one of those things that you can get. So we've got everything downloaded. So now, next step is connect the microSD card to the computer, and then we're going to start building this thing. Okay, so we've got everything downloaded to the computer from those links. I've got the microSD card connected, but what you can see on the screen, this is the kit that I'm using to build the Octoprint for this PC. I'm using the CanaKit Raspberry Pi 4 4GB kit. This comes with everything you need to get started. So it has the Raspberry Pi, heat sinks, power cord, it has a microSD adapter for your computer, and it comes with the 32GB microSD card, which is awesome. This does run about $100. You'll find it on sale sometimes for $89. It'll have a coupon. Sometimes you even see stuff cheaper than that. My link is down below, my affiliate link for Amazon, so you can get this kit and get started. You can also use the 2GB kit, but you cannot use the 8GB kit. It is not compatible for 8GB yet. So, but this is the kit that I do recommend for building your Octoprints for your Octopi, blah, blah, blah. So, that said, let's get to work. So, go to downloads here. You'll see the Octopi file you downloaded zipped. There's the Etcher that I've already installed. And here is the Octopi ISO already extracted. I already pulled it out. So, all we need to do is go to Etcher. And we're going to flash from a file. and it already knew where I was going, which was awesome. We're going to select the target drive. There's only one available. Now, it shows 3 hidden. This is the drive we're using. It's the only one I have that's that size. All my other drives are a lot bigger, so we're not going to use those. I'm going to select my one, and I'm going to hit flash. And it's going to copy the data. Well, no, it's going to ask me permission. It's going to unpack that ISO and properly format it to the MicroSD card. So when that's done, we'll get back and I'll show you what files you have to edit before you can put your Raspberry Pi back there and try to get control of your printer. All right, so we've got our card flashed. It's done. It's successful. Love it that it went so awesome. So now we need to go get this drive. Maybe. Come on. This PC. No, I've got to reseat it. Little trick on that one. And we've got to go in here and go to, we got to set up our network for wireless. Now, most of my Octoprints, I just wired it in. I've got a switch back there. It works great. Not a huge problem. But if you want Wi-Fi, you got to go in here. Now, that web page that we downloaded from, here's all the instructions you need to set this up and walk through this manually. And I have not watched this video, but it may help you too. So, but that's an older one. So we're going to get in here and get the, maybe, yeah, here we go. So we need to edit this. But here again, and I'm even going to show it right here. Do not use WordPad or text editor. Don't do it. Open it with this. So we're going to go to File, Open, and we're going to go Library, or we're going to go to this PC, we're going to go D, and we're going to find this file and open it. And boom, there it is. Woo! So we've got our Wi-Fi. I'm using this, which I'm going to put mine here. And I'm going to do this off camera, but you put your camera here, and you just got to do that. You just got to unquote it. That's it. Pretty easy. Now, and it even states here, go in here, go to this file, and just go in here and update it. So, that's all you got to do. And there is a full Wi-Fi setup guide, FAQ, that you can use. So, and there's troubleshooting. That all goes along with it. So, 15 or newer, all you got to do is unquote all this. Just make it look just like that. Now, I uncommented the wrong lines. You got to uncomment these. Simple mistake. So, if you have a hidden SSID, that's a little bit different. You got to do some more stuff. I don't. So, but everything is right here for you that you need to do. So, I need to put that back. I'm messing it up. Put that back. Unquote. All that. Now I should be able to connect to my Wi-Fi network. Now I'm going to get my password in here. I'm going to get this saved. We're going to get this into the Raspberry Pi, and we're going to get it booted up. Stick with me. All right. Now the fun really begins. So I put the microSD card in the Raspberry Pi. I plugged it in. It booted up, and we got an IP address, which is spectacular. And what you can see on the screen is I went to the IP address of where my Raspberry Pi came up at. And I got the welcome setup wizard, hooray stuff. Now, I didn't set a host name. Maybe a thing for another video. I will set a host name on it, but probably not today. Every time it boots up, unless you set a static IP, it's going to get a different IP address. So if you've got a monitor or something hanging around, just when it boots up, it'll give you that IP address. Wonderful thing. But let's get through setup and get control. And get ready to control our printer. So, start. Hello! Next button. So, username. I'm going to put mine in. And my password. And I'm going to confirm it. And it doesn't match it. Ha ha! And I can't type. Woo! All right, matching passwords. Hooray! I'm going to keep access control enabled. And I'll save that. For now. So, next, configure anonymous user tracking. No, I don't think so. You don't need to know what I'm doing. No. We'll give that a second. All right, configure the connectivity check. That stuff's all usually fine. We can test the host port, server's reachable. Next. Oh, I gotta enable it. It doesn't matter. It comes in handy, I guess. And now it's enabled. All right, plugin blacklist. I don't do this because I use a lot of plugins. So I'm going to disable it. So, printer profile. Boom, boom, boom. This is where we put all of our settings in. This is my Ender 3 V2 is going to be my printer. V2. Here's where the critical stuff comes in. Now, actually, we're going to launch Cura and get my settings. Then we're going to do this side by side with Cura. So we're going to let that load up because Cura takes its sweet time. Be back in a second. Okay, so we got it split screen now. As you guys can see, I've got Cura up now. Took a minute. Sorry, it takes forever to load. No, I don't want 4.71. So I'm going to go up here into settings. I'm going to go to printer, and I'm going to go to my manage printers. I'm on my Ender 3, so what I'm going to do is go to machine settings. Pretty straightforward and simple. And you can see my printer settings are right there. So we're just got to match these. Not that hard to do. So heated bed, yep. Origin lower left, that's fine. Width, 235. Depth, not that. 235. And height, we're going to be at 250. I don't have a custom bonding box. We're going to go check the axes. That's fine for getting started. You can fine tune this on your printer as you go. It's just kind of one of those things. You got to figure it out yourself. Every printer is a little different. I know some people disagree with me that, oh, they're all the same. Nah. Each printer has its own little quirks. Even this V3, Ender 3 V2 has had its own quirks as I've gone through. Different than my Ender 3s. And I've got multiple Ender 3s that they're not the same. They're just not. They're identical machines, but they're not. It is what it is. So we've got our settings in here. We can hit next. And I'll make this big again. And for your printer safety, you should never leave your printer completely unattended. Well, that's kind of part of why we're doing this, is because we want to see the camera. So we can finish this. Now our Octopi is set up. So now what you can do is move your Raspberry Pi back to your printer and plug it into your printer to get that connection. It's not by my printer right now, but the main portal is set up. So I'm going to walk you through some of the main settings here. So of course you've got temperature. That's going to show you the hot end and the bed's actual temperatures as it's printing. Going through the warm-up process, you can monitor it all from right here. Control. I don't have a webcam hooked up to this right now. I'll get one on there eventually, but at the moment I don't have one connected. You can either use a Raspberry Pi camera or a USB webcam with this Raspberry Pi setup. It actually works very well either one. It just depends on how good of quality you want. So, but you can also, when you're connected to your printer, control your Y and Z axes, your extruder. You can turn motors and fans on. You can do all kinds of cool stuff from here. G-code viewer, you can look at the G-code. You can process the layers. You have a terminal where you can send information. And then, of course, time-lapsing. If you've got a camera set up, you can turn time-lapse mode on to timed or change on Z, set your seconds, save it, and start creating your own time-lapses like I discussed earlier. So this gives you the ability to take control. And then, nonetheless, here's the files. So I don't know if I have a file on here, but we're going to go look. I should have a cut file, I think. You would think I have one somewhere. But it doesn't look like I have a rendered file on here. Well, guess what? We have Cura. Nah! So, let's go. File, open file, or actually, here we go. ST files. We're going to slice that guy, and we're going to save it. Shouldn't take long. We're going to save the file on our computer. I'm going to put this in downloads. Save. So what's cool is, I can go to downloads now. Okay, there's my file. I just don't have it associated with Cura. Why I didn't recognize it. I can just go, boom. And if we're connected to a printer, all I gotta do is hit print. And it will start the temperature warm-ups and take control and print your item for you. You don't even have to be back there. If your printer's cleaned off and ready to go, here you go. You watch your temperatures go up, you watch control, you go to control, watch your webcam, watch it lay those first layers without even having to be in the room with it or having it sit on your desk, having it sit somewhere else. It's an awesome tool. It's fantastic. I really recommend it. I know it's a bit of an investment to buy the Raspberry Pi, but it's a really nice tool. And it's just a simple plug and play. Matter of fact, I'm going to go plug it in. Be right back. All right, so Raspberry Pi's moved. USB cable is plugged into the printer. It auto-connected. As you can see, we're connected. I marked the auto-connect on server startup, so it automatically connects for me when the server started up. Wi-Fi kicked on right as it should. Logged in. Everything's here. I added a webcam. So there's my Ender 3 V2 from the side. This is just a little rinky-dink webcam I had that I put on the side. I'll probably get put a camera on it, mount it better, but not today. Not critical for the demonstration, but as you can see, the buttons have come available. So if I want that Z-axis to go up, there she goes. I can home it from here, home my Z. I can home them all from here. So I actually have control of it. G-code viewer, I don't have anything loaded at the moment, but you'll see now that we're connected to the printer, my terminal is now active. Time lapsing. I have a camera on, so I'll set it to time. On Z change. I'll set it there. Max min interval, blah, 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 save changes. So it's going to take a photo shot of anything that I do. Now, plugins. Completely up to you what you want to do for plugins. I like Octolapse. Doesn't show up on what comes down. Go to the Get More. It goes out to the internet. Octolapse. I'm going to install it just because I can. It takes a few minutes to install, but it gives me more tools for what I can do with this device. So there are more tools. This is going to go through the install process while we finish up here. So, but you can also drag and drop your file from your computer after you slice it over to the Octoprint. You don't have to take the SD card and move back there. SD card, we don't need you. We have the MicroSD in the Octopi. That's acting as our storage, sending our model to the printer. So once this is done, which will take a few minutes, I will cut back here and we will get a print started. And then guess what? You have control. Now, if you want to see something more advanced while we wait on this, if you want to get this controlled from your phone or more advanced features, more advanced plugins, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Leave me a comment of, please, more features, or that's rinky-dink. Leave me a comment of more features, and the more of those we get, the more I'll look into making that video for you so you can make this thing work even harder for you. But we went out to set an objective and get more control of our printer, and that's what we've done today. Is now I can sit here in my office, printer's on the other side of the wall, but I can see my printer, I can watch my temperatures, I can create time lapses, I can get more plugins to get more control of my printers. We just took control of our printer without even having to be in the room with it. I mean, how awesome is that? We now have control. Yes, it was a little bit of a pricey upgrade. No, you don't have to use the same Raspberry Pi I used. I like that one because it's just a bit more powerful. It has more energy, which means I can do more webcams, different things with it. It's just the one I have come to prefer in using mine. So once I have this done, we'll cut back, we'll get a print started, and then we'll be done. All right, and as promised, we're going to get a print started. So this is just an SD card with some prints I had on it. We're going to grab the C3 Excelsior, Starship Excelsior G-code. We're going to upload locally. Uploading, saving, it added it, and I'm going to hit print. And yes, I know it wants me to restart for the plugin. So I've hit print. All of a sudden, red and blue lines appear. Now these should start heating up because we have control. And as you can see, the bed is heating up. And that blue line is starting to angle upward because it's going to heat up to 50°C, and then that red line is going to do the same. And then we're going to start hearing the real rock and roll fun from our printer. it's going to get started doing what it's meant to do, and that's printing models. Printing stuff for us. It doesn't have to be a model. It can be anything. Whatever you want to print, you can print, as long as you can find a model or make one in Tinkercad or Fusion 360 or whatever you want to use. But here you have control that I promised you at the beginning of the video. You have more control to do what you want to do, because also, great, I'm heating up. I can also watch my printer lay down those layers and make sure it's not messing up. So not only are you getting control, you're going to start having savings, because you're going to see your model mess up and you're going to stop it before it goes running amok or something else going on wrong. So, new tool. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We'll see you next time.